Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story. We're playing our Dolmenwood campaign using the old school essentials rule set. Thank you so much for the cheer right off the bat here as we start things up. It's been a little bit since we played. I'm joined here by Winston playing Weymund the Illusionist, Issac playing Friar Fitzpatrick the Friar, Moreen playing Lillibeth the Hunter, Ryan playing Sir Geoffrey the Knight, and Chris playing Thomas the Minstrel. Before we get started, just a couple of channel announcements here. 1 week from now, we will be playing a game for Extra Life. We're going to be doing a 12-hour stream, and we will be playing the original Ravenloft module, I6 Ravenloft, using old school essentials. So stop by here 1 week from today, right at this time, even 10 a.m. next week, Saturday. We've raised, where are we at? We've raised $770 so far, and we haven't even rolled any dice for that yet. So that's pretty awesome. They've already cleared one milestone at $600 raised. We're going to let them start things off at level 6 rather than level 5. And if we happen to raise 1,200 before game day, we'll let them start off at level 7. Should be a pretty fun little romp through Castle Ravenloft. We've got all sorts of donation incentives that you can redeem on the day, including you can drop in little level 0 Barovians to tromp around in the castle with them as hirelings, and wandering monsters, and if you've watched any of our charity streams, the usual stuff will be there for you. So come see us in a week. We got a full schedule again next week, so if you haven't already, just jump into our Discord server. That's probably the best way to kind of keep in touch with what we've got going on with the Twitch channel and some of the other things that are happening in the 20 Sides community. So pop that link in the Twitch chat here. And if you're listening to this either via the podcast format or you're watching this on YouTube, that link for our Discord is in the information for the channel. But otherwise, it's pretty easy. It's just discord.gg/20 sites every story. Come join us there. So, where we are picking up here I'm going to say tonight. This is a morning game. It's the morning, and it is morning in our game. It is I believe it is the 25th of the month of Igwild. We're just on the heels of the summer months. You had stayed at this old wizard's tower that sits on the bank of the river Hamath, and you had secured the tower away from a number of goblins that had been staying here with some robbers that had stolen some money from you. You have since dealt with them and recovered your coin, but you didn't really you didn't, I guess, maybe see the goblins as really necessarily responsible for what had happened to the coin, but yet some of your characters maybe weren't so comfortable sharing quarters with them given everything that had happened, and so you spared them their lives but insisted that they sleep outside for the night. And then they were to return. The arrangement was that they were going to return the next day, and you're going to kind of sort things out as far as what your plan was going forward. And so morning has you all enjoyed there's a room in here with a big banquet table and skeletal servants that are at your beck and call to deliver to you any food or wine or drink or whatever it is that you wish to have. They can procure it. You enjoyed some of the wizard's tobacco, and there are a lot of things that were going on. Thomas had sewn together some clothes for Lillibeth, who had suffered some injuries from an acidic green slime in one of the chambers above. And so all of that has happened and transpired, and it is now the morning, and knock had come at the door, and you went down expectedly to find these, I believe it was 5 goblins that you had sent out into the woods, and so they have arrived back. And when you open the doors to the tower to look out into the forest, there is a pretty steady snowfall, and the green in the leaves of the trees has all collected this dusting of snow that is starting to build up and accumulate. And the goblins are out there kind of freezing, their teeth chattering. They're like, please let us in. It's so cold out here.
Are they armed at all? Do they have any weapons? And are these the same ones that we released?
Yep, the same goblins. It doesn't appear that they have any weapons. I believe you gave, I think maybe 1 or 2 of them maybe had a dagger or something that you gave them, but that is about it, you know. And they don't have weapons drawn or anything. They're basically, you know, they're dressed in pretty thin garments. You know, they weren't outfitted for winter gear, and so they look, you can see even their green skin has kind of dulled a bit as the cold is clinging to their faces.
Oh, come on in. We actually wanted to talk to you about an arrangement for tonight. So, come on.
They start to file in. Sir Silas is nearby, and he's looking kind of concerned out the door at the weather.
Seems to me like we have perils both indoors and outdoors now.
Friends? He's gonna just look back at he's looking out the door as well. He looks back at the goblin. What?
Seems unseasonable, right, brother?
He's gonna take one more peek out and look around a bit, just once more. Maybe put his foot out, touch the ground. There's snow on the ground and whatnot.
Yeah, probably not quite an inch yet, but it's coming down. Like it'd be, you know, it's very obscuring to the you know, general environment around you. Like it's coming down pretty quick.
Yeah. He's gonna kind of look back and then kind of focus his attention on the goblins. What is this? Is this normal this time of year here?
We're a week away from summer. Clearly this is it must be the Cold Prince.
Cold Prince. Can you elaborate?
The Cold, he's a powerful fae. So the stories say. Probably back to claim he once in ancient times blanketed the whole Dolmenwood in eternal winter. I don't know the story, but clearly he was driven off some time ago, but maybe he's back. That's what this is. The other goblins are just like taking comfort for the fact that you've let them in, and they're kind of like finally, you know, they're probably going to rush up to that second floor where the fire is and start, you know, like they're just gonna like kind of brush past you, and like one of them, you know, shoots out that conspiracy theory, it's the Cold Prince, and makes his way up to the second floor.
With that being said, I move forward, take a quick look, shut the door, and see if there's any kind of lock or bar to put on this side.
There'd be like I think both. Yeah, like you could lock the doors, and there also is a place to put down the wooden board that's probably still there that you could bar the door. And then Sir Silas is just going to say, well, irregardless of the origins of what is happening outside, I don't know the area well enough. We still are in spring. To me, this is just unusual. Unusual weather, not unheard of, but we are not prepared for this. We don't have heavy winter gear ourselves.
At this,
Might
I'm
be
going
something
to.
in the tower.
Well,
You know, I heard a rumor when I was younger about the Dolmenwood, and it had to do with this cold prince.
yes, I think I shared that with us all.
Yeah. The legend that I heard had something to do with a fortress overlooking a lake. There's not a lake nearby here, is there?
How would we know?
I don't know. Well, I know there's the river that we followed here. I'm just
Wow.
saying that because the legend says, that there was some treasures at this cold prince's fortress that overlooked the lake. I was just maybe concerned that this would possibly be it, and he would be returning to his fortress, given all the strange things in this place.
Well, where there's a river, there's some place it comes from, some place it goes. So, could be. Maybe deposits in the lake or
Sir
somewhere
Silas
nearby.
Sir Silas would add, in the maps and charts that I did find of the Dolmenwood, I did not see a lake in between us and Castle Brackenwold, for what it's worth.
Feel a little safer, at least. Not that
Well-
these legends are necessarily true.
Well, and Sir Silas he's just gonna like kind of get down to business. Like you could maybe see he's like a little bit annoyed as like the conversation turns to a cold prince and such, and he just says it does not concern us. This whatever it is, all it is it is a complication for our goal and to find this Marjorie Griver that we are looking for. If snowfall is going to make it much, much more difficult for us to find her.
Well, it certainly will make it more difficult for us collectively. Me specifically, I don't know that a tablecloth armor, as finely made as it is going to be enough cover for the wind and
Oh.
snow.
And how are you feeling this morning? You certainly didn't seem like you were in any condition to travel when last we talked.
I'm still not able to really move comfortably at all at this point. And I would like to ask one more favor of the group, and that is at least shave off the strange ends of my hair so it doesn't get in the way should I ever need to take a shot. But I think with one more night's rest, I should be able to at least contribute to the party.
Another night's rest might be able to ascertain whether this is just a quirk of the season, unusual weather versus something supernatural.
It also could be the difference between traveling through a foot of snow and traveling through 4 feet or 5.
And in a day, I might be able to at least explore enough to bring back some information that I might be able to glean.
Given our collective backstory, I don't know that any of us want to count blessings, but if we can trust what the goblins say, Dreg is just up the river, maybe half day's journey. So even if we do have to rough it through the cold terrain, we could probably bear through that for half a day and resupply ourselves. We have our coin back, plenty of coin to resupply and get all all the things that we need to undergo an expedition under whatever circumstances we find ourselves in.
Right. Well, that's all good, but I think what's next is telling these goblins that we're going to be staying another night.
That's right. We didn't get a chance to negotiate that.
Well, I mean, yes. And I think it might be best that we're all there, and maybe they might remember that if they see all of us there, maybe they're more inclined to let us stay.
I think the question more is, are we willing to let them stay?
That is the question.
Maybe it really should be the question, can we stay together in our separate spaces?
I guess, well, no time like the present. Let's maybe, and he's gonna maybe start heading back up to where they're sitting on the second floor.
Silas will follow.
I'm going to get up and hobble, hoping I look pathetic enough to support the argument that we need to stay.
Probably not much acting that has to happen there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit of hobble on with Friar Fitzpatrick as well. He's still not 100%, but he's trying to kind of put that in the back of his mind and kind of stay looking as strong as he does.
So it
which
sounds.
isn't very...
So it sounds like a lot of you are heading up to the parlor, and so you make your way up the marble staircase up to the second level, where there is the comforts of this parlor, the wine cabinet, the big plush chairs sitting in front of a roaring fire, the lingering smell of that tobacco that you all shared the night before. And the goblins they're just like on the floor, like kind of huddled together, almost sticking their hands just like mere inches from the licking of the flames. And they're just kind of like muttering to one another, like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, it feels so good to be in here.
So the thing is, I don't think we ever got your names. I'll just pick out the first one that's like the most friendly. Maybe the one that told us the rumor with the cold prince. I'm Weymund. What's your name?
Beg.
Beg. Okay. So Beg, we appreciate you honoring the agreement we put in place yesterday. Unfortunately, in light of the occurrences and our injured friends, we would like to arrange a sort of living arrangement for tonight. We'd like to all stay in the tower. From my perspective, I don't see why that wouldn't work for everyone. I don't want to have any sort of discussion of any one of us having to be forced out into the snow. But we wanted to make sure that you're comfortable with us staying here and understand the ground rules.
We get this room.
I just turn around and look at everybody else and say, you can see one of our friends is quite injured. She's nearly killed, nearly slain by a slime. I think that it's more appropriate for her to be in this room with the
she can
comfort
stay.
of the couch.
She can stay.
Thank you.
I don't think you're quite following my point. I don't. I just kind of turn to the rest of the party and like.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is we're gonna stay in this room, and you guys can stay in any room you want. Anywhere else.
Well, who stayed out in the cold all night? Look at us. We're a little rough for wear too. I'm sorry that your skin burned off, but we've been. Look at our skin. We'll never feel again.
It's true. You're very pathetic, and you would be much more pathetic if we were to have to slay you.
What?
So I would recommend to keep this friendly, and we could all just remain friends, and we'll stay here, and you can pick any other room, especially the one with the slime is a good one to stay in. But just not this one.
Yeah.
Just not this.
So Geoffrey, if I may, what if, as a compromise, you can stay in the room to warm yourselves, get healed up, nice and toasty, and then for the nighttime arrangement, we could stay in this room. That way, there's no more confrontation.
And is there a fire in one of the other rooms, a fireplace? There's also, don't forget, food in another room of this place. So maybe we can have a schedule.
Schedule.
And maybe Friar, you could help us with that schedule.
Like 1 hour on, 1 hour off. That's a lot of moving around.
I think
Well-
that the best thing, maybe what we do, is we will just we're all friends here, right? My brother, he has a way with words, doesn't he?
I'm just saying. You know,
When he meant pathetic, he meant cold looking.
pathetic, yeah.
Either
And
way,
certainly no threat was implied.
we will
He's
be
waving
happy.
around my brother's sword.
Don't worry about that.
It's very small.
That's neither here nor there. Spoils of war, I guess. Either way,
Yeah, we're the monsters.
no, you're
No.
here. Listen, we're just staying here for another night, and so are you.
All right.
No worries, right? Yeah. Do you feel any ill will towards us?
A little bit. I mean, nothing has been going good for us since you arrived.
Hmm.
My brother is
But-
dead. I've got frostbite everywhere.
Might I
yeah.
suggest?
I'm a little irritated.
Might I suggest another warming device for us, and also something to symbolize camaraderie, a new friendship, a new arrangement. And I point to the liquor cabinet and say, I suggest that we open a bottle.
The
And then I
guy.
give that like mysterious wink to like the rest of the party.
I flinch and turn away.
I literally roll my eyes and go lay down on the couch.
I guess a little wine would probably help.
Here, I'll do the pouring, and I'll go. Hopefully, not grab a bottle of wine and glasses. Anything happen? Is it real?
It's real, yeah.
Okay. I'll pop the cork, and plup, 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 and I'll do a heavy pour for each of the goblins.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking up some things here. Why don't you roll me a d6?
Oh, that's not good. All right, D6. 4.
So you are pouring it out into the glasses. It is a very dark violet, reddish violet wine, and you can smell sort of plum raisin notes coming from it as that aroma starts to waft out from the bottle.
Oh.
I recognize that wine, I think.
Well, that's right. You're like a wine trader or something, right?
I was at least certifying the casks, not the
Mhm.
caskets, the casks.
So you pour one out for each of the goblins?
Mm-hmm.
And how about for
Big
yourselves?
glass. I'll look at the rest of the party.
Yes, please.
I'll pour a more modest amount for each of us.
Okay.
Except for me, I'm going to say I would like a little more, please.
I'll pour a little extra.
So, at what is probably about like 9 in the morning, you bust out.
We're getting drunk for
It's been a hard
Stay
night.
drunk, come on.
It has been a hard
Hey,
night.
You have decided that you will stay at the tower, do some day drinking. So
It's it's noon somewhere in Dolmenwood.
That's right.
it
my
basically
brother Friar is a bad influence on us.
It'll be fine. It gets the gears going in the morning.
I think probably to be able to serve all of you probably have to pop a couple of these bottles, but
Right.
they look on quick inspection and based on what's coming out of the bottle, they all look like they're the same. They were probably procured from the same vineyard or whatnot, and so you all start to drink, and they the goblins are just like they're just chugging this wine. It is a very yeah, it's got those like the same as the aroma. It's kind of just like a very dark red wine, very full-bodied, very kind of has those almost chocolatey, fruity taste to it, and they start to kind of warm up. Their demeanor changes a little bit. They start to, and even yourselves, you kind of start to feel a little bit more kind of loud drunk feel, like your personalities are getting dialed up to an 11, and they are the same way, and they start kind of laughing. They're making some jokes that are very much goblin jokes and don't translate well, and you don't understand why they think it's so funny, but you know, things about like, you know, slaughtering animals of farm folk, and jokes about you know, their raiding behaviors and such. But eventually they start just saying, well, now that we've had all this drink, I think it is fair to say that we are all comfortable with one another sleeping in the same room. We could share this fire.
I say, but you know, excellent idea. I'm barely drinking. I'm just being careful.
That is a great idea.
It's a great idea, but you know what's an even better idea?
Wonderful idea.
Food. Doesn't food sound really good right now?
Oh, no. You don't need food right now. I think we need another glass. What do you guys
Goblins are like,
think?
do.
Yeah! Slaughter the pigs, yes!
More drink.
And
I'll forget about it. I'll just drink the rest of my glass.
you guys are all drinking the wine. Sir Silas he's got a glass, but he has not really been drinking it. Like he took like maybe a sip. He lights up another bit of that tobacco and is kind of off in the corner of the room just by himself, like watching this scene take hold. He's doing his best like Gandalf impression, like just being all like somewhere else, kind of contemplating some question by himself.
I think Sir Geoffrey is probably going to be laughing overly hard at all the bad goblin jokes that he doesn't get. And then every now and then he's probably going to counter with his own bad, like, but I'll slay you joke, and like slap them hard on the back, laughing, you know, afterwards, all jovial, and then kind of like his brother on the side and be like, dude, I don't want to sleep with the goblins, man.
I mean, Big is pretty good. He's pretty funny. Like you could tell he's already like, come on, and he's like trying to give him like a little bit of a noogie.
So
he's like, come on, look at this
as
guy.
soon as you do that, he brandishes the dagger that you gave him, and he's like, slay me, and he's like all belligerent.
Oh, hey, easy guys. Listen, we're all friends. Put that away.
We're
Listen.
sleeping here.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about. You're an angry drunk.
And all the other
And
goblins seem like that. Like, yeah, we're sleeping here, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay. At that, I draw my longsword and point it at him, and I say, I and mine are bigger.
I think this
We're
wine is
sleeping
not.
here.
But listen, we can all just kill a bunch of goats. Oh wait, was that bad? Oh, whoops.
So you're
Oh.
gonna try to diffuse the situation with the joke.
Yeah,
Let's see.
with a killing farm stock joke. Yeah.
Do we have any goats out there that need killing?
All right. So you make the joke, and they all turn to you. And they start laughing. More wine.
Oh,
I think
I think that
Geoffrey's
was-
gonna slow down on the wine.
Yeah, that's the sobering experience I think the Friar needed. Oh.
I'm
Geoffrey will continue to pretend to drink the wine, probably, but he's not gonna continue drinking.
Lillibeth doesn't care. She's really needing the wine to help take her mind off of what she's feeling, and she is now in that I am falling asleep phase of being drunk, if the wine will allow.
Yeah. How many glasses have you had at this point?
Well, I've had one big overpour and at least one other one. I have no idea how much he poured in the second one, so at least two.
At least two. Okay. So you are proper drunk at this point.
I'm proper drunk.
Yes. So there are some. You are suffering a -1 penalty to attack rolls and saving throws, but you gain 1d4 bonus hit points.
Oh.
Oh.
And those increase beyond your normal maximum.
Drunk strength.
So you can think of these, they're basically like temp hit points in 5e. So you can roll that 1d4 and just put that pocket aside. As soon as you are sober, that you lose those hit points, but for the moment you have them.
Oh, nice one.
That's cool.
I apologize to my team. I say I'm sorry being so
Oh.
quick to draw my sword.
No.
Oh,
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm the one that threatened them,
You were.
but
We
you
were
know,
having such a good time, brother.
slaying goblins. It's fun.
So I'm gonna have. So that was a result of. I'm just ruling that Lillibeth is failing all of her con saves right now until she gets that rest. The rest of you can make a con save for me. Try to roll.
D20?
Yep, and you want to roll underneath your con.
Oh, okay. I feel like that. I was like, oh, that's good to know. It's like, it doesn't matter. I just need to roll the dice. I can't like try to go under the con, you know?
Nice.
Come on, dice, do what I want.
We good.
I got a
3.
6 under 14. So.
All right.
I got a 3 under 13, so good.
And for every drink that you have, do that. So if you've had more than one, you know.
Okay. I'll do one more then. Because I'm sure I had another one.
Yeah, I was taking it easy, but then when the swords came out, I gave up.
Yeah. That.
Oh, I mean, no, actually, not when the swords came out. When the Friar started giving a noogie to the goblin, that's when.
We were. Yeah, easy.
All right, 6, so I'm good. So I'm not drunk, but I'm definitely feeling good.
Yeah, we'll say you're just kind of on that borderline tipsy feel. No mechanical effect, but
Yeah, this is a nice wine, actually. Back in my estate, we used to drink something similar. My parents were connoisseurs, and they started like talking about like my life backstory, like kind of doing that thing.
I'm gonna ask the goblins to tell me more about the Cold Prince.
so all of the goblins at this point have passed out except for Beg. We'll say Beg is still. I don't know. he's
Going
in
hard.
it for the long haul, but
Yeah.
he's pretty rough as well. But this last one says, Beg is just Cold Prince. Uh, he wants it to be winter all the time, and so he used to be the lord of the Dolmenwood. They say he made all of the things that live here bend the knee to his will. The goat folk and the humans and everybody. But he was banished and hasn't been seen in thousands of years.
How was he banished?
Magic. Probably.
Well, by whom?
Oh. I don't know. Maybe goblins did it.
Doubt that.
Oh.
But
That's how it goes in our story.
that's probably how it goes in our story.
I'm getting a big like drunk history vibe right now.
And then Michael Cera came in and he
Drunk goblin history.
he became the Cold Prince's fool for 1,000 seasons.
Where was he banished to? Do you know?
His home. Not he has a kingdom far away in the land of Fairy.
Land of Fairy.
And like as he's babbling about, like you're getting the sense, like he's reciting to you some folk tale, like it's like a children's story that he's deriving this this information from.
Any confirmation that there is such a place? Would that be something that we would have heard of as well? The Land of Fairy.
I would say, like in general, probably Weymund and likely you as well. You've heard there's a lot of stories, not just maybe tied to Dolmenwood exactly, but that like elves derive from this other place. Even goblins maybe originate in a world beyond our own. And that the Land of Fairy is kind of like an adjacent plane that has maybe roadways and connections to this world, and that such creatures that are native to Fairy sometimes are able to have a foot in both and come and go as they please. But the nature of that realm or that world is not really well researched or well understood.
Would there be any connection to the Dolmen stones and that land, or
Possible. Also not really well researched, or is not general knowledge.
Was literally going to ask Thomas about that, so I'm glad you brought it up. Thomas, what do you know about the Dolmen stones?
I don't know much, other than they exist. Help me out, Alex. I have not really
I think
read much. I mean, I was kind of waiting, I guess, for you to let me know exactly what
I don't think you know too much about them either, other than they are definitely a feature, or it's after all, it's what the Dolmenwood is named after, are the Dolmen stones, and their origins, what they are, not really well understood. One thing that maybe you have heard about them is that they are something that like sort of a cabal of sorcerers named the Drune seek out and claim as their own, and it almost seems like they are a group that came to the Dolmenwood hundreds and hundreds of years ago and sort of are very protective of those stones and came to maybe seek out and understand them better.
Yeah, but the stones even preceded them. They didn't create the stones. The stones were already there, so the stones are even more ancient.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Thomas. There's somebody at the door of the castle.
Yeah, that's right.
Not more goblins.
Go away with
go.
drunken.
I've already voted. You can leave. There is nothing to be gained here.
Interesting. So, what makes you want to search them out then? Just curiosity?
Yes, the little bit of information that I was able to get, which got me landed into the clink, more or less confirmed for me their existence, and it's more of a I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling drawn to find out more.
I understand. That sort of obsession for knowledge. I can relate.
Yes. And just that there's not much about them, and that they, I mean, apparently there's a bunch of these, but where they are, what exactly these Drune are and everything. I mean, this is all, it's all kind of just either it is a complete mystery, or some of this information is known but is kept very close to the chest by those that do know.
Right.
Which to me means that they're very important.
Means it might be your ticket back into jail now. Once we've get out of jail free card as well, just be careful.
Yes. I will.
You wanted my opinion? Alex, are we allowed to cuss on the stream? Now they're doing like podcasts.
I mean, like if your character swears or whatever, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
I'll say, fuck the authority, Thomas. Search what you want to search. Who cares if you get up in jail? Come back 10 times. Find what you want to find. In my opinion.
Do you think? I mean, he's just kind of sitting there, kind of on one of the plush chairs, just kind of relaxing, and while you're all kind of talking, and he's like, "Do you even really think that they would even come out here for us? Honestly, do you think that they'd even lift a finger trying to find us? As far as they know, we might already be dead."
I mean, it seems to me like they've almost sent us to our death, but we do have a chance at freedom if we find Marjorie and return. So I would hate to see us squander that freedom. After
what is your freedom then? Going back to your life as some sort of knightly servant?
Well,
Bearing a family's burden, like, is it freedom for you?
Yeah, it's better than. I mean, what is freedom to you? Being stuck, constantly doing wrong and being stuck behind bars? Like, you remember the food in that place? It doesn't seem like, me personally, I'm not in any rush to be back behind bars anytime soon. This fresh air, this tobacco, this wine, all of these. This, yes, is freedom to me, and so long as I have access to those things, yes, responsibilities of the family can be heavy, but it is certainly better than sleeping with no bedroll on the floor and eating slop behind bars.
I think Sir Silas is going to chime in just based on something that the Friar just said, and he's going to say, I believe in due time they would come seeking us. You've all been very trusted friends over the years that we shared those cells together, and you all came to be entrapped by the eyes of the law in your own ways, but my pathway to that fate was predetermined. It was deliberate. And it is also the reason for why we are being granted this chance. I guess I never told you my background, but I am doing my duty to my lord, who had to make a very difficult choice. His house was under threat by a number of political actors. We gathered together with his cousin by marriage, who had been plotting with many of the other minor houses to supplant him. This was during the War of the Brothers. It was a very delicate situation at that time to keep our house in order, to keep our people under the one banner. And so one late night, we were in a parlor just like this, and he made the choice to kill him, which, in the eyes of everyone else, would have been just as disastrous to know that in cold blood he killed a family member. And so it was decided that I would take the fall for this. Me, having never touched this stuff, we concocted the story that I got belligerently drunk and enraged over some trivial matter and did this deed. And so I was thrown into the cells. I was publicly admonished by my lord, and I am, my honor is sullied in the eyes of all that I cared about. And then I was thrown away to be forgotten. But this quest that we are on, I do believe it is my lord who has pulled the strings for this thing to happen. Now that the war is over, the brothers have made some attempt to reconcile. This was orchestrated to give me a way to earn my honor back, to earn my freedom. It is because of the friendship that we share that I brought you along with. So they may not come looking for you, but if I do not return, if I do not fulfill this, they will certainly come seeking me.
We do not want that, do we, brother?
No, we do not. We do not.
Well, maybe somewhat inappropriate, but here's to you, Sir Silas. Another wine.
Well, I am already been marked a drunk. So he raises the glass and he takes a it's a small sip, but he takes a small sip of it.
I rolled a 6 in my con check.
Perfect. So still you're just in that warm, that sweet zone.
And what's the story with the goblins right now? They're all passed out in their chairs in the room or whatever?
Yep, and then it's just Beg that is still semi-conscious.
Semi-conscious.
Spill. You know, he's like kind of holding the glass. It's spilling out and staining the
Yeah.
carpet.
I'm pouring
We
some
all
more
have
for him.
that friend. Yeah, we all have
And
that
I've missed all of
Uh-huh.
this.
He's the smallest guy at the party, right?
So I guess we're gonna just stay in the room with the goblins.
We could relocate them.
Yes.
I say this
was
quietly.
Yes, maybe it'd be best we move them up a few floors.
So you're gonna start kind of, you know, firemen carrying them up to. I guess I don't, just in case it matters. What room are you hoping to put them in? There's the dining room. There's the card room where they were playing the card parlor, and then there's the garden that you know of. Unless you want to go through the pink mist and see what happens.
Throw 'em in the
Not the
garden.
garden. That's too cruel.
I feel like sleeping on a table when you're super drunk is like a time-honored tradition. So I think we should just drop them on the table.
Or on the kitchen counter.
On the kitchen counter.
Was there a place? Well, is there a place with a fire other than the room that we're in? Thought the dining room had one, but I don't know.
Yeah, it would make sense that there would be one in the dining room. So let's say that. Let's say there is one up there.
Yeah, why don't we just throw them in some chairs in the dining room with their cups in front of them? You know, if Beg's, we'll see if we can just like walk Beg up there. Be like, you want a taco, don't you?
That was my whole plan. You get drunk and you want to eat something, then you pass out at the table.
No problem. You get to deliver them up there. The skeletons start like immediately pouring them big glasses of water.
Dude, the skeletons are bros.
Yeah, they know what's up.
Couple of Advil. Yeah, so you bring them back up there, and then, you know, you're able to come back down to the parlor.
Can we lock the door to the parlor or block the door or something?
You could maybe
we do
jam it or something. You don't have a key to properly
I'm just
lock
saying,
it.
I just don't want to get my throat slit in the middle of the night by some goblins, you know?
Definitely. Maybe we leave it open for now, and at night we make sure we lock it up.
Oh, wow,
It's
look at
fine.
that. We got a big raid coming in from Lord Gasumba, rated with 57 viewers. Thanks for stopping by.
Wow.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Huzzah!
Huzzah indeed.
Ah.
Thanks for the follow. Thanks for stopping over here this morning. We're playing some old school essentials. This campaign that we're playing is Dolmenwood. It is a campaign setting that Gavin Norman has been developing. They have a Patreon that is closed now, but the sort of the way that they were setting this up is that they had a Patreon where they were developing a player's guide, a GM's guide, and a monster book for this setting that is sort of a very kind of folk tale inspired enchanted forest with a lot of ties to sort of fairy and Feywild types of themes. It's very cool. The people that supported the Patreon got early access to the PDFs as they were in development, which was cool. So every month or two, you'll get a update of what they're adding to the content. And they've closed it now, but there are plans to publish all of this material. So, and hey, thanks so much for the subscription and all of the follows that are happening. That is great. So, yeah, so you have brought all the goblins up there, talking about whether you want to bar the door in case they wake up and drunkenly meander down to the parlor.
First off, we'll make sure at least we keep their swords maybe down here with us.
I mean,
Agreed.
I think their daggers are probably on their person. That seems like it might be a little like are you saying when we're carrying them upstairs to take their daggers?
Yeah, they left it down here, obviously.
Right. I mean, they were pretty drunk. They passed out, and I mean, they chugged those glasses. So I think any excuse is fine, and as long as they keep them hidden, you know, they're going to be hungover. So I don't think they're going to be able to sneak down to catch us. So
Okay, cool. And then with Beg, we kind of walk him up and just be like, "Oh yes, here's some tacos," and take his dagger, like slyly.
Sure. So you disarm him of the dagger that you had originally given them to protect themselves.
I'm gonna take his dagger and I'll cut up the turkey in front of him.
yeah, it's like taking
Pocket.
someone's keys, you know, and you're like, yeah, let me just and just like kind of do it, you know. I'll
And
let you do it.
and you start doing that, cutting the turkey, and he's like in anticipation, but like he falls asleep before being able to enjoy. It's like the fantasy version of waiting for the delivery, the pizza to come, and you're not awake to open the door.
Nice. Okay, so we have their daggers and they're asleep upstairs. Okay, feeling a little better here.
It's what time is it? I mean, it's probably just early afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Or did we go
It's like
drinking
10:30
into
in the
the
morning.
evening? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been drunk and sober, and it's noon.
Hey, Blue Box RPG, thanks for the follow.
They're gonna wake up before it's bedtime.
Yeah, they're gonna be wide awake.
All night long.
Oh boy.
Okay, we just start over.
All right. So, yeah, you're free of the goblins for a bit. Is there anything that you wish to do or converse about for the remainder of the day?
I want to look at the weather outside and see if it's changing, if it's the same, if how much snow's on the ground, if there's any tracks around in the snow.
So, you go downstairs and make your way to the door, unbar it, open up the doors, and as you're looking out there, snow is still coming down, and now there's a couple of inches that have accumulated. As far as tracks, there are maybe some faint prints that you can see of like rabbits and squirrels, maybe even a deer that has crossed through the area.
Nothing humanoid though to be concerned.
Nothing humanoid, no.
Okay. How about cat prints?
Nothing quite like that.
Okay. Just making sure.
It's still
I-
very cold. Oh, sorry. Maureen.
Cold.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely maybe like 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
And if I stick my finger up and like it this seems like it's sticking around, or does it seem like it's a quick squall in and out? Or does it seem like it's a like this is a system?
It feels like, I don't know if you've ever experienced like no wind. It's just quiet, crisp air, and like it's just like blankets of snow, just big puffy, soft snow that's accumulating.
I would like, after I wake up with a splitting headache, I'm sure, to ask Thomas, who seems skilled with scissors, truly to cut back the remnants of my hair, so it's like sticking up whatever parts of it are out of the way, so doesn't get in the way. I also would like to take my own look outside because the tale of the cold prince has stayed with me, even in my dreams, and I might see something that others might not.
Ooh.
So you're trying to think of things that you know about the Cold Prince. Is that what it is?
Well, I know about the Cold Prince, a little bit about the fact that the tale includes fairies. The tale also includes their willingness to trade. And the other thing is I think I might be able to recognize tracks differently than any of the other companions. So if there's something that might give us some sense of whether this is a natural or unnatural snow, I'd like to check for that.
Okay. There really isn't gonna. I don't know. I can't really think of anything that your character would be able to do to determine natural versus unnatural, like it's happening. And there isn't like an obvious source of unnatural where it would be coming from exactly.
So it might be that what I was thinking of is that there might be some efforts to sort of disguise passage of a group of beings through here, and that the snow is going to be partially helping with that, but that there would be some evidence of that happening.
I don't think there's anything unnatural that you're
Okay.
seeing. Yeah, it's like it feels your character's probably experienced a winter or two wherever you're from, so
Just
it
odd.
would feel like
Uh,
that.
If
Yeah.
at this point, I think maybe the friar would kind of be looking around, looking to see where Lillibeth had gone, and he might kind of stumble down the stairs, and you'd hear behind you, "Everything okay out there?"
It seems to be. I don't know. The Tales of the Cold Prince sort of haunted my sleep, such as it was. I have a really bad
Uh,
headache.
Yeah, I'm still awake, but I'm starting to feel it myself. And he'd kind of
Oh,
stumble a little bit over to the door. And as he's looking outside, he's gonna just look because he's so used to looking at the foliage and stuff. He might attempt to see like how do the trees look? How do the bushes look? Are they full of leaves and whatnot like it was like the day prior, or does it seem like everything has kind of fallen off?
Yeah. So it
Nice.
looks like it did maybe the day or two before. There's still like green leaves
Oh,
budding. Like evidence of spring is still there.
okay.
So I think there was like conjecture: is this a time travel, time skip thing? And it still
Yes,
could be,
yes,
but
yeah, right.
it's if it is, it's a matter of years or something, not a matter of months. So you
Hmm.
don't get the sense that you're in true winter.
Well,
That was my secret hope, that we had time traveled.
It was one of three options I had considered.
Terminator comes.
I mean,
he's gonna like, well,
I figured when the goblins thought it was the next day and they were cold
That's
coming
yeah.
back, that
yeah.
was my big hint that it might not be.
Mm-hmm.
That killed that theory. Unless they had cyborg components or something.
Yeah.
The
They're
goblins
holding
came
on.
back and they were like, "It's been 4 months. Get out of my castle."
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe they're under the eaves at night, so that's why the time travel took them to. Either way, yeah, he's gonna say, well, I mean, there are still leaves and growth, so maybe this is just a wild occurrence. We've already seen some interesting things. This seems not out of the ordinary, I would guess.
I mean, it's not unheard of to have a cold snap in the summer, especially late spring. Unusual, but not unheard of. So
Yeah, my only concern, friends, is that in in half a day, we've gone from 1 inch to 3 inches. In another half a day, we will go to 9 inches to a foot tomorrow. Even though we only have half a day's travel to dredge or dreg, that could turn into a full day's travel in a foot or two of snow. So we should
Hmm.
just watch it, and maybe be ready to make a judgment call if I don't know. I I'm concerned about getting snowed into this castle. Is really what I'm trying to say, and I'm not articulating it well, but I'm concerned about getting snowed in to the castle with the evil acid mold in it. So I'm
So
just throwing that out there.
Sir Silas would kind of nod along with that, and he says that something that I had not considered. I sort of had hoped that it would have ended by now, but it doesn't look like it's letting up. We still have time if it's only half a day's journey to Dreg. Lillibeth, we probably have to give Lillibeth some aid trudging through the woods and such, but that is a possibility, would be to make foot now while we still can.
So I don't know that we've lurked everywhere within the castle. I'm going to see if there is any sort of room with any sort of clothing whatsoever besides the tablecloth clothing that I have right now, because even boots would be helpful at this point.
I was going to suggest that as well. If we're here for a day, I mean, let's do a little bit of checking.
I mean, we've got goblin bodies that have clothing that we might be able to. I don't know.
Do we really want to wake the goblins up at this point?
Not the live goblins.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
So there's one dead goblin and one Grimalkin.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a little cute hat that we could put on?
Yeah.
You could definitely look stylish, but
Do his boots fit?
You may be able to take some of the material from the goblins' clothing and fashion some boots, or I don't know. I have no idea.
yeah, definitely not enough to really help offset the environment. From what you've seen in the rooms that you've explored, there's nothing that suggests you there's a coat closet or something where there would be some warm weather gear. To explore for such things, you'd have to go through the next door, which is through that pink mist.
No. No, thank you.
Yeah, didn't the Grimalkin go into the pink mist and then he
turned into a pig?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he's a melty pig.
Oh yeah, not good.
So, do the Grimalkin's boots fit by any chance?
You're all human. No, it wouldn't fit any of you.
No.
Well, did they have capes?
I think Jaspy had a cape, but it is
Little baby cape.
It is no longer.
We described it. I think the cape was like laying nearby or something. So yeah, you got a tiny little cape that could fit.
It's a napkin.
7-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
handkerchief.
Well, I'll just have to do what I can with what I have, and I guess we can take some of the scraps of goblin leathers, or maybe even the boots from the Grimalkin, and cut them up and turn them into sort of moccasins. I don't know if they don't have to be stylish shoes of any kind, just basically leather and string.
Something we haven't tried. It seems that those skeletons are rather accommodating.
Oh.
Perhaps they could bring more than food if we needed it.
Oh, that's worth asking.
Do you think there might be a coat rack somewhere?
It's possible.
If we're going to ask, maybe we just ask, can you please provide a full suit of armor and boots for our friend? Or at least leather armor. Maybe
So
make it simple.
You're addressing the skeletons in the dining room as such, and the one is sort of dressed up like a butler. Kind of. He's kind of gesturing like, oh dear, what do I do? And then he looks down at his own feet, and he's wearing some shoes, and so he slips off. They're not. I think they're just like kind of like dress shoes, so they're not probably great for tramping through the forest, but gives you its shoes, and you could have something on your feet at least.
Touched. I don't know what you give. I'm just going to give him a very courtly bow, which I'm not very good at doing, and thank you. Thank you for the shoes. But
Lillibeth, I have a rather macabre suggestion, but Grimalkin are quite fluffy. So you might want to maybe like take some of the fluff and just tuck it into the shoes and just give yourself some extra warmth, maybe. I'm sure Thomas could do something with this.
Yes, at this point, the Grimalkin is dead. It's not going to bother him. I have no qualms at all about skinning something, so I'll actually go ahead and do that.
I have a little
right
bit
now.
of qualms about skinning a sentient creature.
It's the dead sentient creature, and he's not using his skin. And he tried to kill us, so
That's true.
It put the lotion
what a
on
brilliant
his skin,
suggestion.
Yeah,
so
puts the
it's
lotion.
fine.
All right, so probably Sir Silas will say, like, if you were to set out today, time would be of the essence to get to Dreg. Like, you'd basically have to leave now, and so he'll kind of leave it to you, like, kind of like put it to a vote. Do you want to try to make it to Dreg yet today, or chance it and see if the snow accumulates to such a degree that it might slow you down or even snow you in?
Well,
That's my concern. So I think Geoffrey has sort of been stirred by Sir Silas's story and now is like really into like helping him complete this quest, and it's like, let's get the heck out of here kind of situation before we get stuck here, and there's already been some bad things that happened here, so I think my vote is to try to go.
Right. I have to agree. I think we should grab a couple of those bottles, maybe some of the tobacco, so we have something to warm ourselves, and if we get stuck at night, but I think we should go.
My suggestion is that we stay and head out in the morning. The assumption that we're going off of is that it is not winter; it is a cold snap in late spring. If you're going to get snowed in somewhere for a day or two, I mean, I would assume we're not going to be snowed in for more than a day or two. We're pretty comfortable here, so the only issue would be is if it does warm up, it's going to be a sloppy slog with the snow melt. But I would rather know that we are going to be warm and toasty for the evening rather than perhaps getting stuck. But
well, I could still use a little bit more time to recover. So I worry more about what sort of how I might slow you down along the way, truly, and turn what could be a half-day journey into a longer journey. But that said, where are the canoes? How close are the canoes to us right now?
You would have to travel a day's journey down
To
south.
get to the canoes.
You had stashed them away outside the forest, or basically at the entrance to the forest.
Oh, that's what I was afraid of. Then I can't think of any reason based on what we've learned not to consider this just an unseasonable cold snap. And I'd rather start off in a stronger position. So I agree with Thomas.
What say you, Friar?
Well, if I knew we were going for a hike today, I would have liked to know that before I started drinking. I
Yeah, we're all a little hungover.
Either way, I don't want to sound a bit selfish, but I too feel that I might need one more. He's still kind of, he's been hiding it, but he's still looking a little rough. He's like, I think I need it would be nice to have one more day. And I mean, if we were snowed in here, it's not a bad place to be snowed in, I would say. I don't take it like I'm getting comfortable. I am, but I am. But
we won't
understand,
stay here for longer.
I It's against my nature to stay in one place too long anyway. Understand that I do want to leave, but there may be just one more day.
Sir Silas will say, I was keen on, as comfortable as this place is, it makes me a bit on edge. As friendly as the skeletons are, these goblins, everything that has transpired, I don't feel great about what we did yesterday. I wish that there had been another way we could have avoided what had happened to those two Grimalkin, but it is in the past. At the end of the day, we did what we needed to do to recover our property. Given that we seem to be split on this matter, I would say maybe we do stay here one more night and head out in the morning and hope that our luck changes.
I think on that note, Geoffrey is sort of going to be down with the group's decision, but he's sort of going to, he's sort of a nervous Nancy to begin with, and he's sort of going to be outside and be like constantly checking the snow and the situation throughout the day, and as it gets darker, and he's being a nervous Nelly about it.
Okay.
I'm going to take this chance to really do as good a job as I can of skinning and cleaning the Grimalkin. I know it's not something that I find to be pleasant either, but I cannot see any reason not to take advantage of this. I am a little worried about bringing a Grimalkin skin into the public eye, though. That might not be good. So I'm keeping all of
I
that in mind.
recognize that. No.
It's my brother. No, I am, and these are the thoughts that are truly going through my head. I realize this is a sentient being, but frankly, I am cleansing it.
All right. So flaying the the Grimalkin. And what is the intention with that then? Is it to make what are you hoping to I assume this is with in tandem with Stevram. Or I'm sorry, Thomas. I'm getting my characters all flipped around.
Like, we have a new person.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it is in tandem with him, and it's going to be it's going to be a good job of skinning, but it's obviously not going to be time enough to actually tan the hide, and we're not doing that in one day. So it's just basically a stopgap to make sure that I have something warm. We have something warm that we can use if we need it.
Sounds good. So that's what you were occupying your time with. How about others?
I will cut her hair as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
She'd asked for that. I'll do what I can.
Could just shave it all off. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to examine the snow and just kind of. I'm in somewhat disbelief, but I'm also looking to see if there's anything artificial about it. Just if it seems like snow I've seen, if it's snow that I've experienced before, like you mentioned. I think you mentioned that was the experience of the snow is ripe. I'm kind of looking at the actual like snow formation itself.
Yeah. So it is that kind of puffy snow that like when you press it together, it kind of packs together. You could make a snowball out of it. It
Cool.
There's nothing that would seem unnatural about it other than just the time of year that it is accumulating.
Okay. So if we make it to the night, I'm going to change out my spell to detect illusion.
Okay. Sounds good. And anything, Friar, that you are up to?
I think he might. Well, first off, he's gonna eat. He'll start eating, but I think he's going to kind of. He's kind of fascinated with these undead creatures that don't seem necessarily evil. So I think he might try his best to communicate with at least the butler, the one that kind of showed a bit of kindness, and just through hand motions or something, even maybe taking out one of his like a charcoal pencil, right, and paper, just ask questions about who they are and whatnot. Try to understand a little bit more. Even saying, I was tempted to. As soon as I saw you, I was tempted to, you know. Yep, that's right.
And he
That's
nods
right.
along after making the throat slit gesture.
Yeah.
Anybody who steps outside to look at the snow, I'm just gonna kind of sit. I'm gonna be picture like the old curmudgeon in the rocking chair on the stoop, like being, oh yeah, that weather, it's coming in.
I think Sir Silas is going to come and join you outside, and we'll turn to that in a second here. Friar, you're trying to communicate with this skeleton, and you write, or you're talking. You're talking to it. Okay, you're talking to it, and is there a pen that you have laid out for it, or ink?
Like a charcoal pencil.
Or charcoal pencil you got. Okay.
Yeah.
So he picks it up and writes down on the paper that you've supplied. It's just like glad to have you, hope you're comfortable, smiley face. It's like the little notes that like your barista would put on your coffee cup.
Oh.
Let us know if you need anything.
Right, but who were you? Who are you? Like, why are you here? What do you understand? What you?
I'm here to make sure that you have a 5-star experience.
Okay, yeah. So that's a very
It like answered all your questions, bringing it back to like hope that this is everything that you wanted.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Did you write something down about who do you serve?
I mean, eventually it would come up.
Okay, it actually responds to that and writes a name down for you. Sorry, give me just 1 second.
Jaspy
Pop. Yeah, right. There are so many hexes.
Too many hexes.
By the way, this is the food is great. I just what you do, I don't know how. We need to maybe talk a bit more of your seasoning. It's wonderful. The coarse pepper and whatnot, and I don't even recognize what this is. What is this? And he's picking out something out of his mouth. What does this taste?
The name that it writes down for you is Nif Nimbly. NYF and Nimbly NIMBLY.
A well-known magic user of sorts, I assume.
And it just starts like kind of going back to very much so much that he animated us to serve you and give you a 5-star experience.
You're doing a great job.
So outside, Sir Silas has sat down with you, Geoffrey, and again lights up the pipe. And he's kind of taken an interest maybe in that short sword that you have with you. And he asks if he can take a look at it.
Yeah.
And he pulls it out and he starts to compare it to his own sword, that dark iron blade that is a mark of nobility and knighthood. And he says, these swords that are forged for those of us who take the oath, they are forged from material that comes from a very specific place, and this is pure iron. And he's inspecting the other blade, and he's like, not all blades are made from material that has such purity. And I have heard that it is true that creatures that we were talking earlier about the land of fairy, and those that are supposedly can trace their ancestry back to that land, have some sort of a vulnerability or allergy to that material. I guess what I'm arriving at is we should probably, if we're going to be here for the long haul, maybe seek out a new sword for you. As fine as this is as a stopgap, you'll need a proper blade.
I would agree, Sir Silas. While I do not, I feel like I made the right decision to save a friend. I certainly am feeling the weight of missing my family's ancestral blade, and I am deeply concerned that I may never be able to find a replacement.
Dreg doesn't strike me as a place that will probably likely to encounter a proper blacksmith, but we can ask around and see if we might be able to find one out here in the Dolmenwood. Someone that might be able to make something of similar quality to what you're used to wielding.
Yes, agreed. That should be absolutely on our list of things to do. Many things to do once we arrive at Dreg, if and when we arrive, as I see the snow continues to fall here.
And I think probably it's starting to become evening at this point, and as you're sitting out there with him, the snow does cease.
This is going to excite me greatly, and I'll probably give it a good 20-30 minutes to see if it starts back up again, and I will probably, after giving it a little bit of time, I will probably go in and let everybody know, like, hey, this looks like the snow stopped.
So you return inside and deliver this little bit of good news to the group. So you're all engaged in some different activities that carry us forth through the evening. Is there anything else that you all wish to? At some point, the goblins do kind of wake, but they're very groggy, and they seem like they're kind of being a little standoffish. Like they don't come back down into the parlor, and they remain up there near the food and with the skeletons. So if there is nothing else here yet this evening, we can kind of go into rest procedure.
Sure.
Sure.
Sounds good.
I think I'm just gonna bypass anything other than, is there any desire to sit around and enjoy some of the tobacco and focus in on a question?
Yeah, I think Geoffrey would like to ruminate on the question of where and how he could possibly replace his sword now, especially now that Sir Silas has gotten him thinking about that.
All right, Sir Silas will join you in this. How about any others joining in smoking some tobacco and staring into the fire?
I'll join in, but I have no questions to ponder. Is it okay?
Same here.
Mm-hmm. I'll join in and kind of sit next to my brother.
I'll join in and try and, in the background, catch up on everything I missed while I was sleeping. But I do, but I do want to pass out the socks that I made. So I took the Grimulkin skin and basically made socks for everybody by turning it inside out and sewing up little, and with Thomas's help, sewing up socks so that we've got the fur inside, and that should help us if the snow doesn't melt fast enough.
All right, it sounds good. Let's say, Geoffrey, you're going to be the one to do this. Intelligence check. And let's see, we've got Silas, we've got Weymund, we've got Fitzpatrick and Thomas. So subtract 4 off of that
Okay.
as a bonus.
Okay, so I rolled a 14, minus 4 is a 10, and my intelligence is 14.
Okay, so as you're thinking about this, your thoughts probably are, since especially since your blade is that of nobility, something that is hard to come by any other means, it probably makes sense to seek out a lord in order to obtain such a thing. And so Sir Silas's original plan was to take you to Castle Brackenwold, where the Duke of Brackenwold holds power. But then, of course, there are other lords and barons that are accountable to him, such as those that apparently dwell in that manor not far from here. It sounds like has fallen into some tough times. I believe that was House Should I say that? Is that right? House Malbrick?
Malbrick.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's what I.
So those are, I think, the 2 houses that you know of, House Brackenwold and House Malbrick, but maybe there are some others here in Dolmenwood that you could seek assistance in that.
Gotcha. Nice.
So the evening passes. You can all take back 3 hit points. And in the morning, you are awake and rested. I would say at this point, Lillibeth, you do feel still pretty rough for wear, but you feel that you could muster up the strength to do a half day's journey to Dreg if you needed to.
Okay.
Alex, how many hit points did you say we earned back?
3.
Do we get 3 a day?
Today I'm giving you 3 just because of the situation.
Cool. Okay.
I think normally it's just 1, but
Yeah, that's what I was just making sure. I only have 3 hit points, and I was already at full, but I was just curious with the rule.
No more drunk stream.
you more
No
or
more
less
drunk.
you more or less had a I would
Luxurious night.
say a luxury. You didn't really exert yourself, so I'm gonna treat it like you were in a tavern or at the inn for 24 hours.
Oh, okay, cool.
And after our rest, of course, Geoffrey, being the nervous Nelly that he is going to immediately run outside and check the weather. And what does he find?
So the snow is still there, but you can feel that the temperature isn't quite as severe. It's probably warmed up about 10 degrees, so it's probably on the cusp of kind of that freezing. Maybe even a little bit north of that, but it hasn't probably been that warm for long enough that the snow has melted. But the snow has stopped, and it's a little bit balmier, I guess.
It's a balmy freezing out there. We should get our travel on.
A balmy freezing. I'm writing that down.
Yes.
And Dreg is due. What is it? It's due north along the river.
Yep, that is your understanding. Basically, Dreg is, the lower Hamath. There's a lot of lumber that gets transported down from the Dolmenwood, and so Dreg is a kind of stop off for the people that portage all the lumber materials.
Yeah, I think if we leave early, guys, we can get there with enough time to do all our shopping, find a place to stay.
Okay. Before we go, I know I took all of his skin off, but I'd like to do something with the Grimalkin's body so the goblins don't become too excited about what they see. So maybe we can ask the servants to appropriately dispose of the body. Do you think they would do that? We could try.
Maybe they could use his skeleton to make another servant.
Oh, that's a thought.
Or we maybe just lay the body to rest. That probably would be nice. A bit, let's not get into that stuff. But I think maybe, giving thanks to the one true God that we're allowed to have such luxuries, and that He's looked out for us in so many ways, that He's brought us all together in this beautiful place. We thank Him for the time He gave us here all together, and we thank Him for this poor Grimalkin that decided that it was maybe a bad idea to cross us. I think that's fine. I think overall, we all bow our heads and thank you. You don't have to. You don't have to, but we all do.
I will.
Sir Silas certainly does. He is of the faith, so.
I am not,
Fine.
but I feel guilty, so I will.
I am not, and I won't, because I don't think we're allowed anything. I think we get what we deserve, what we take, what's presented to us. So
That's fine. I mean, it's true. You took the true God's blessing as I brought you back. You sure did take it. So
okay, good friend. I'll give you that one.
I do
You can have it. Amen.
a brief bowing of my head, but I don't feel guilty for killing the thing.
I just feel guilty flensing it. A little.
Socks are very lovely, by the way, and you can see.
So what was the plan for laying it to rest?
I mean, it would be very difficult, I'm assuming, from what my brother said, to probably dig whatever. What I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming that it's.
It would be frozen.
I'm assuming that it's I'm assuming that it's probably the same as laying the body to. I don't know whatever would be the norm of this religion. The friar would.
The norm.
Maybe
The norm would be burial.
Burial. Okay. Well, I don't know how well that's gonna go in this frozen ground, but if it's not too hard, he might maybe take a moment to try to do that. And
We can help. I'll help anyway.
The alternative is not to offend your customs, but in some cultures, bodies are set ablaze as a way to send them off.
is the friar having a hard time digging the?
Do you have a shovel or a tool?
I have a sledgehammer.
Eh.
He's crack the ground like Thor.
I have a crowbar. I'll show him my crowbar and be like, I don't think this will be much.
Yeah.
No, push the crowbar to the dirt and then hammer the crowbar and fling the dirt out.
Probably going to be a very long-term job with those tools.
Yes.
A while, even if the birds and the animals feast on the remains, it is a noble way to go into the nature. No, it isn't. Is it not?
And he's trying to break it, he's like, I don't know. You know what? It's probably the thought that counts, right? Yeah, we're good. We're fine burning. Yes, that's fine.
Even burning is probably going to be a challenge.
Take too long. Okay, yes.
Because
that's the thought.
Some cultures, they just throw their bodies in the river. So there's that option.
I don't believe you.
Some cultures leave the
party
bodies where
is
they
going
lie.
through their Rolodex of cultures and trying to find a convenient burial.
We wouldn't want to offend them. You're right.
I feel
Even
like
the friars find
friars.
it
I feel like the friar's blessing is what is honor enough, because he did try to kill us after all.
He said the thought that counts. So he did his thing. We're good.
Yes.
Sir
But getting
Silas
him-
would probably lend a nod to the idea of putting him sending him down the lower Hamath, given that you don't have a shovel, and it's probably not in your interest to maybe go and gather firewood to build a pyre to burn them at the present time. So that's his vote.
Agree.
All well considered.
Okay, so you're able to do that, and you send the body. You can kind of see it kind of drift away from the course of the river. Takes his body just a bit before he plunges.
Serving his warning to all Grimalkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they can identify that it's a Grimalkin at the
Yeah.
yeah, the blessing over the flayed body.
Uh-huh.
I think we really need to get an artist to,
It's just a
Yes.
smoking pile of
immortalize
bones.
this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that Jenna's gonna take up that one.
No, but Cliff might.
Yeah, my dad probably would. So, other things that you want to do before heading out into the wood towards Dreg?
Oh,
I
I'm gonna
would
cast
prob-
detect illusion. Oh, go ahead. You first, Thomas.
Well, I was just going to say I'd go up and I would grab, some portable foods like rolls and things like that to make sure we've got something to eat on the trail.
All right. Anybody? Was there somebody that said that they were taking some bottles of the wine?
Yeah, and then some tobacco. Like, just basically like, hey, we're gonna be in the cold. If something happens, be nice to be able to warm up some liquor. I mean, wine, I guess, but
All right. How many bottles would you like to take with you?
one per person if there's enough.
Yeah. We will say that is good. And so you each have a bottle of Inkling wine.
Nice.
Thomas, as you take the food from the tower, you will notice that it does not detect as illusion, Weymund, under your spell, but it does disappear as you try to take it from the tower.
Oh, that's too bad.
How
The
about
wine and
like,
the food?
Just the food. The wine
Just-
seems to come with you.
Okay.
how about like he I think the friar would take the opportunity and be like, well, what, thank the skeletons, like, hey, thank you very much. Do you happen to have maybe do you think we could take maybe a few? I'm sure you have an extra set of these utensils and whatnot. Would it be fine? And he's gonna try to get Mooch as anything he could, and see if he would be able to take it out. As far as like cooking, where things to hold, like dishes and stuff, just anything in general.
So basically, what it is there is basically like plates, platters, cutlery, but like not not necessarily proper cooking things.
Okay.
And I think if you try to take any of those things, they kind of are like they kind of gesture around like this is unnatural or uncouth. They don't stop you or attack you or anything, but sort of like, bad manners kind of thing.
Don't take the Samuel Adams lobster pint glass from.
That's very specific.
Yeah. This is a
As you're,
matching.
as you're drinking from it, like
You're ruining our 12 placement setting. You're stealing all of our. You're turning our 12 placement setting into a 8 placement setting.
I think after seeing that, he would, if there were any objection, he'd. Oh no, it's fine. It's okay. I'll leave it here.
Sounds good.
So
go ahead.
I'm just going to use my detect illusion spell. So basically, in the morning, everyone's kind of getting ready, and I'm just going to conjure up this sort of like, vision over my eyes, where my eyes shine a little, and I'm able to detect illusions. And I need a little clarification from the DM. there's a difference between turns and rounds. I forget. I looked it up before. This
Yeah.
lasts 3 turns,
So you got 30 minutes.
30 minutes. So I'm just going to kind of casually look up and down the castle. The tower. I'm just looking for, first of all, where all the things you're interacting with illusionary real. They felt real, and I'm just looking for any illusory doors, anything interesting. And I'm also going to examine the snow, even though I know that it feels real. I think it's real. Just making sure.
Yeah, so hopefully it's not too disappointing, but I guess this is information. None of this
Yeah.
text is illusionary.
Cool. And that's not disappointing. I wanted to more just playing the character. So there's my one spell for the day.
But it confirms for you that this is not just some fever dream, I guess, that you've been going through for the past couple of days. This is a real place.
Yeah.
And...
Well, and there could have been an invisible creature walking around or something,
Yeah.
So, well, that's that. Onward.
Yes, very much so. Let's get this show on the road, as they say in somewhere.
So following the bank of the river, trudging through the snow that is starting to melt, probably within maybe the hour, you'll start to notice that it is starting to subside a bit. Friar, were you hoping to do some foraging on this day?
Yes, I was.
So go ahead and roll the foraging check.
6.
Is
And
there a
we're going
bonus?
at. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, is there a bonus because I'm in the party or not? I can't remember if it's just hunting.
Friar gets a bonus because he's a friar.
Okay.
Yes. If we're moving at half speed, then I'd be getting a 5 and 6, but we're moving at normal speed, so it's a 2 and 6. And I rolled a 4, so nothing.
Nothing today, and maybe partially because of it being so frosty and cold. The foil, it's a little bit more difficult to kind of detect what might be useful or whatnot through that, obscuring your perception. And so you start to trudge. It's you're not really exploring the hex. You're not digging into the hex. You're just following the river. And so half day's journey north, we'll say that it's probably about mid-afternoon by the time, and then in Foundry, I'm going to switch you over to a different map real quick. And so right where I have the token centered there is basically like kind of where you are coming into the scene that I'm about to describe to you. But basically, as you're emerging from the wood, and at this point, we'll say in that time that it took you to travel, the snow has all melted, and so it's just kind of soft earth and kind of the feeling of spring reemerging is felt. And as you are traveling, at some point you start to hear the sounds of civilization coming further up the river. You start to see small boats and ships, likely carrying goods to and from, or probably rather from, Dreg due south. And you start to see the establishment, the little hamlet of Dreg. And give me just 1 second. Pull this up. What you see is more or less what you probably had in mind as a small port town fishing village that is situated right here, the river being its lifeline. It feels alive. There you could see off in the distance the docks where there is a number of very small fishing boats, maybe 1 or 2 larger vessels that take a couple of people to man with sails that are loading up some cargo. There's a lot of dock hands down there doing some work, or fishing vessels where you can see a man or a woman with a big net kind of bringing in their haul for the day. In the village itself, you can see that there is maybe a high pinnacled church situated kind of in close proximity to the docks, and many of the buildings here are just built of clay and dirt, a number built from wooden planks, many of them kind of raised up on kind of I guess like kind of platforms or stilts. Maybe this area is known for some flooding and things like that. And so you're emerging from the wood, so you're not on a road or anything, but you can see some dirt roads and pathways between kind of meandering kind of randomly through the village. I guess another landmark. So the River Hamath is quite wide, right? Very wide enough that ships can go, back and forth with ease. In the center, kind of opposed from the village, there is some kind of like maybe to your eyes, an island that has like this big, almost looks like a big manor, or not rising to the, like a mansion, like a large luxurious mansion. And there's one little dock at the base of that island in a meandering stairway that leads up to that building.
We know where the local lord lives.
Certainly seems that way. So as we come in, do we get a sense of like what direction maybe, like we see the dock, and do we see maybe what direction maybe some shops? And obviously we have some things we need to get, bedrolls and different stuff. Probably some clothing for our friend.
From a distance, it looks like there's some kind of like an open air market not far from the docks. But then as far as like commercial district or anything, not really. It looks like maybe there are some shops and whatnot, but they're kind of intermixed in with the residential areas.
Gotcha.
It says you don't own a... Are you able to see the map?
No.
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 Yeah, you gotta turn the visibility global or whatever. Or give us tokens or whatever.
Or something.
There we go. So
Oh, nice. Yep.
So nice. I was cheating and looking at Twitch and admiring the map.
Well, that's cool.
I only look for this one. I know the other one is like secret, so I don't look at that.
And so we're at where the token is.
Kinda, probably further south. Like you're emerging from the woods and seeing this. So I'm gonna play it. You haven't quite gotten into Dreg yet, but you're just seeing that you've made it.
Are there any walls or like guards or anything? Like the map kind of implies no, but
there are nothing like that. There's no walled fortifications, but I would say if you're stopping for a moment and you're gazing into the town, you see a plump man with a big bushy beard who's dressed
Santa.
He's dressed he's dressed in it looks like maybe he's armored but has like a yellow tabard on. And around his neck is the symbol of the Church of the One True God. And he's with a number of others that have these yellow smocks on, and they look like they have cudgels or maces at their hip, and they are I don't know. You don't really know what they're doing, but they look armed and like maybe they could be guards or something.
Okay. Stabulary, at least it looks.
Can we call them yellow coats? I feel like yellow coats would be a good name.
Yellow
Never mind.
jackets.
Yellow jackets. Oh, yellow jackets. I missed this. Alex, did you say if it was still snowy? Like, did the snow reach out to this area?
The snow has subsided. The weather has started to melt it away as you were traveling.
But did it appear? Okay, so it appear like does it appear like there was ever snow here? Like is the ground like soggy?
It's soggy, yeah.
Okay,
But there's no frost or snow that yet clings by the time you get here.
right. So in other words, the impression to us is that there was a wide range of the snow. It wasn't just like located around the tower.
It seems plausible, yeah, given
Okay,
the terrain.
got it. Okay. Well, do you want to just head for the market, or maybe talk to the Yellow Jackets?
Let's say we talk to them, ask them where the local inn is.
Yeah, and Geoffrey's interested in whose house that mansion is, just because if there's some connection to nobility, this may be some sort of connection he can make to possibly replacing his sword.
And so you start to you make your way towards Dreg. The port there is pretty bustling. There's people kind of coming and going, and bringing in their fish for the day. And you see this man, red-faced, looks like he's maybe in his 50s or so, and he's wearing these black Hessian robes. And there's that holy symbol that is called in the faith of the one true God, the oraculary. And he's with these others, and they are all kind of like shouting and just kind of almost being a little bit belligerent to some of the folk that are coming and going from this area. And they just say, "Stop! You live in sin and before the eyes of the one true God. We're all responsible for the darkness that lurks in the woods. It is because of your whoring and your debauchery that you bring this doom upon us. Turn away from your sin. See the light. Live as Saint Sedge lived."
Thomas's ears perk up at whoring. So
I think all our ears perked up at whoring for different reasons, potentially.
Different reasons. I'm trying to get as hidden inside the group as possible at this point.
I think Joffrey's gonna nudge his brother and be like, these are your folk, it seems.
Not my folk, brother. And he's
So,
like kind of just like rubbing his temples, like.
If we're gonna talk to them, maybe you should be the one, or maybe we should just walk on by.
The best thing to do with these people is just move along. If they call out, then give a wave, and maybe.
He's already
I
making
don't-
his way over to you.
Oh, hello,
Brother!
Yes, hello.
You
It's
have- Certainly come, you must help. This place is thick with sin. It must be purged.
Yes.
Excuse me, I heard someone talking about location of some whores, possibly. Could you maybe expound on that?
And he
I'm pounding on your back right now.
There's plenty to go around.
You can see he makes a side glance to that chateau on the island, and he says, "Yeah, far too many of our townsfolk and the passers-by that come through our town have taken to the seduction of Madame Shantywood's Isle."
And Madame Shantywood's Isle is that island that we see.
You
The mansion.
must stay away.
So that's just a giant whorehouse?
It is, and it is unfortunately quite successful one at that. Every night you can see the little boats ferrying the sailors and the others that stop in to Dreg. Even the Burkmaster has fallen under her spell.
And what is she causing to happen in town other than infidelity?
Isn't that enough? It goes against the teachings of the church and the one true God. This wickedness has brought doom to us all. The Nag Lord moves in the north, it is known.
The Nag Lord.
Yes, the Nag Lord is not just a rumor, but is a truth. It dwells far to the north, but a shadow, but its creep drifts to all the far reaches of the Dolmenwood and even all the way down here to Dreg.
See, and it's responsible for this sin.
Absolutely. It has to be the cause. We have not seen evidence of the Nag Lord for many years. Even the Duke of Brackenwold fears its presence. Even if they do not say so outwardly, it must be stopped. We can do something about it.
A convenient boogeyman, Sir Geoffrey, for controlling people's habits.
Gosh, it seems very complicated here already.
Do you have evidence that Madam Shantywood serves the Nag Lord?
They have evidence that she serves indulgences, overindulgences, makes men weak. All of these failings, these blemishes, feed the corruption of the Nag Lord.
They make men weak.
If we do not turn away, it will be too late.
Are these men not willing? Are they under some sort of spell, charm? Or do they choose?
It does not matter. That it is the act that is the sin, not how it comes to be.
Thank you. I think you've answered my question.
Now, is this corruption responsible for this haze and around the town? What is this? What is all this and the stench of smoked meats?
Well, we are quite known here for our smoked meats and sausages. It is a delicacy here in Dreg. But
It might be the fish smell that's throwing me off then, because geez.
Well, hopefully you will come to Dreg and be satisfied with this product of our town and not the other attractions.
Yes, praise be the one true God, friend. Thank you for lowering your voice as you talk to us. We appreciate it dearly. Where might, as friends, where might we maybe find? We're obviously newcomers here. Where would you suggest maybe we find a few items for sale, as we're just weary travelers on our way?
Well, if it is, of course, the fish market, I'm sure it is not what you have come here for. But there are a meandering of shops that you could stop off at in the village, a general store. If it is lodgings that you are looking for, I'd stay away from the spawning salmon and Shadgary's shack. The Mermaid's Arms, that is a respected establishment.
And the others are not as respected. They're
Full of
just sin.
yes. The Shadguri's Shack is a known place of gambling and den of debauchery. Spawning salmon, likewise. You'll be robbed if you go there. I say stay away if you know what's best for you. Stick to the light.
So the darkness extends beyond the island, and the debauchery is also in town.
It has crept into our village. It has plagued the Burkmaster's mind. He has the power to direct the constabulary to do something about this, but he sits on his hands, does nothing. It is left to us to dispense justice in the streets.
Oh. In what ways are you dispensing justice, my kind friend, gentle
He
friend?
just pulls out his cudgel and starts to rap it against his hand. If they will not turn from wickedness, we will beat it out of them. That is the way.
Of course. Like I said, convenient.
Yeah, Geoffrey's gonna be like probably a little bit visibly uncomfortable at this point.
Mm-hmm. I think the friar. I'm sure has the friar like in the past like dealt with people like this as far as like when he would go from town to town, or what are you thinking? Is this a bit more extreme?
This would probably feel a little extreme. The God of the One True Faith isn't. It has an aspect of it that has, at least people within the hierarchy of the church have used it to justify crusades and violence. At times, usually against other people, other non-followers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is more of a. But it's a lawful. At the end of the day, it's kind of a lawful faith, and so it's a little bit out of step that these folk have taken it upon themselves to appoint themselves as the law in a town that has an established order. So that's a little odd to you.
I think he would kind of move up and say, it's great that you're standing up for the faith, but I think maybe, quite honestly, it seems you're doing more harm than good. Maybe people see you a bit rough around about rough for wears. The way you handle these people, we need to be gentle and kind and show the true faith, not go with such a strong hand. What do you expect? How much have you harmed these people?
You sound just like Brother Hogbeard, all gentle and passive. That way has not worked, and so we have taken it upon ourselves to dispense justice. Fear could be a powerful motivator to bringing one back to the light. And if that is what it takes, then so be it.
And
all of the yellow-smocked converts that are with him are just all like nodding, like, praised be.
How many of them are there that are around?
We will say there are. Give me 1 second. I'll roll it. There are 6 others, so 7 in total.
Color spray.
Wink.
Uh-oh, don't have that.
I'm going to whisper, actually, to Geoffrey, please don't say anything to provoke at this point. Maybe we just say thank you and walk away.
Sir Silas
Yes.
would probably concur with that. He'd be like, I believe that it would be wise. I don't wish
Yes,
to
well,
get into any kind of conflict with these zealots.
Well met, and I see you. My brother speaks his mind often, and thank you for the tip about me.
hold on.
About me then, and we'll just be seeing you later. Well, brother, come with me. We're gonna go to the Mermaid's Tail right now. Very respectable establishment. We'll be seeing you fellas later.
And he would kind of be, wait, hold on, and then he'd be drug off.
So he gives you a he gives a sign of the faith and says, "Go with the light." And I have to say something. I made I misspoke. His name is Brother Hogbeard, and so when he admonished you, he would have said, "You sound just like Father Haddlewreath." Sorry, I
Okay.
got my name switched around there.
Wouldn't it be better if he was talking about himself in third person?
You sound just like me.
You're just like how I used to be. Hogbeard Beard's not around anymore.
So I'm
Now
sorry.
he's dark beard.
Dark beard.
What was his name? Father.
His name is Brother Hogbeard.
And the one that seems a bit more gentle. What was his name again? I apologize.
Father Haddlewreath.
Haddlewreath. Okay.
Haddlewreath.
Or wreath.
Wreath, like a Christmas wreath.
Okay.
Okay.
Seems like we've got armed vigilantes roaming the streets here. Definitely a little bit of a rougher vibe than the smell gives on, my friends.
Sounds like this place lives up to its name.
They're certainly
Well said.
dredging it up, yeah.
All right. So you've got the name of 3 inns that you could stay at, and sounds like there's maybe some shopping you can do. Unless there's like interactions that you want to have with the shopkeep, we could maybe handle that off stream if you wanted, but it could be an RP opportunity too. It's up to you.
Only thing for me, I just wanted to try to secure a jewel.
Okay.
I don't really need to roleplay that, but
you don't you don't. Brother Hogbeard didn't mention a jeweler, so that might be something you'd either have to like ask about or try to drag.
I'm asking him.
You're gonna ask Brother Hogbeard?
No, I'm not gonna ask him.
Oh, okay.
Get the hell away from Father Hogbeard.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to go to like the really scummy place if I can't find a jeweler and see if there's like someone who could hook me up with a jewel. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you would maybe want to go to either Shagiri's shack or the Spawning Salmon.
Yeah, I think there was one that he said was specifically like a den of like gambling or something.
The shack, I think you said.
Is the shack, yeah. So I'll just kind of like set off. Maybe I'll just go to the shack outright.
I would say probably that. You see like plainly like where you stand after talking to Brother Hogbeard, because it is it's like the favored spot for the sailors that come and go from further up north. And so you can see a low-roofed, single-story building that has a sign hanging off the rafter or off the roof of a leering moon ringed with grimacing stars. And so are you all heading to this location together?
I'm not sure I feel comfortable not being with my group at this point, so yes, I'll be with the group wherever the group goes.
I guess we'll all go on this trip for the jewel. I was thinking more to get bedrolls and stuff, and I didn't know if this was a solo mission or what the story was, but it's up to you guys.
I was intending to like while y'all do sort of like take care of Lillibeth's situation, I like jumped off to like on my own to grab a jewel. But if you're like, no, don't go by yourself in light of the situation, I'm happy to like do the necessities first and then go get the jewel. But I definitely want to try to get my grubby hands on a ruby.
Yeah, if you're comfortable going, like Sir Silas would be kind of like if you're talking about your desire to find a jewel and you start saying like that's the place I'm going to go to. He's going to be raise an eyebrow and be like, okay, be sure you'll be fine. I would rather not. I wouldn't feel comfortable in such a place. But if you need backup.
Well, I am a bit spent after my attempt to uncover the illusion. So maybe it would be good if I had some company. So I'll tell you what, I'll attend your mundane tasks of gathering bedrolls. I could use one myself, after all. And then maybe some muscle to help me not get mugged immediately.
Sounds fair. And hey, thank you for the follow, Judd K. Thanks for stopping by. We're kind of in the very final little piece of our Dolmenwood campaign here today. So it sounds like the task immediately at hand then is you want to go and do some shopping.
Mhm.
Yeah, clothing, bedrolls, all that good stuff.
Yeah, the only RP experience I'd like to explore is just get a sense among the women of how they're feeling about the mansion in the middle of because they might say something differently to me.
Okay. We will say You kind of meander through the town and you find a shop that is called Oren's Armaments and Supply. And inside is a pretty kind of basic little supplier of, it looks like a lot of fishing gear and materials, nets and fishing poles, maybe some spears, quite a bit of maybe some bear traps, some axes, some things for kind of survival out in the wood. Definitely, as you enter in and you ask, there's a man, and it looks like maybe his wife, and he's got a 5-year-old kind of roaming around. Nobody else in here when you walk in. Sort of there's like a cedar kind of scent in the air as you walk in, and the man maybe mid-30s or so, kind of graying, receding hairline, says, welcome. You must be new arrivals in Dreg. You looking for anything in particular, supplies, or heading up or down the river?
I definitely need some supplies. As you can see, I ran into a creature that essentially dissolved my armor.
Oh my. Well, it looks like this clothing of yours is interesting. What material is that? Is that a tablecloth?
It's pretty good brocade from everything I can tell. And it's been expertly stitched.
I can see that. But just the material is odd.
Well, obviously, in terms of armor, it is very odd. We were lucky enough to be able to use this cloth to create at least some clothing. But I would be happy to trade the cloth and the entire outfit for whatever it's worth, to be able to have a solid pair of boots, some good pants that I can wear while tracking, and maybe a nice jerkin and vest.
Okay, he'll charge you a gold kind of for boots, maybe some more proper clothing and things like that. In terms of you're looking for some like leather armor.
At least, yeah,
20 gold for that.
Ooh, I'm going to look at Sir Silas at that because that would wipe me out.
So I think 2 of you were hanging onto the coin. Is that right?
I
Yeah,
have written down. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say we have 144 total.
I have more than that written down. For some reason.
Who
I've
are
got
my
a bag of 100.
Yeah, who are my 2 people that you'd split up some of that gold?
I've got a bag of 100 gold. In my
I
inventory.
had. Oh, okay. So I had from, sorry guys, but from the chat, that everything that was listed down, I just copied it down in here. So I had it split out by who had what, and then our grand total was 144 gold pieces. But I don't know what everybody else might have had in addition to that.
So there
I
were
think-
2 in the last session. We had 2 bags that we had split out, and we had designated who was holding them and how much it was.
Yeah, 345 in a porcelain bowl in one, and then everything we had lost in the other, and 100, and that included the 144. Ah, I see. So
And
in
that's what
addition,
I wrote down 345 in a porcelain bowl on my sheet.
Okay, so yeah, we'll make sure we'll be tracking things by individuals, who's holding what. The quartermaster thing gets messy, I think.
It does.
So, it sounds like Weymund and Geoffrey were our 2 people that are hanging on to bags. So,
yeah.
For what Lillibeth is wanting, that was 21 gold in total for leather and some clothes. And
I'll
booze.
pull it out of the 345 in my bag.
and I think it also ate my weapons.
Okay. What are you looking for weapons?
I definitely want to get another short bow. I don't expect to replace the long bow anytime soon.
All right, short bow is 25 gold.
Okay, so that's 46 gold total so far. Got it. And
And needing arrows for the bow?
yes.
20 arrows and a quiver will be 5 gold.
Okay. And while this is all going on, I'm going to. Are you willing to trade for the cloth and that we have?
I'm not sure I have the ability for me to resell that. It is a very unique item that you have. So I'm going to have to decline that.
What about the porcelain bowl?
The porcelain bowl. Did I give you a value on the bowl?
No.
No, it just has the crest of a.
The house.
That's right.
I think
He's going to look
was
at
that-
it and say, that is something that I'd prefer not to have.
Ooh, why is that?
It is marked by House Malbrek, and I am afraid of the implication should I be found carrying it.
Oh, so it's not a common marking?
No, this is the noble House Malbrek. Where did you come upon this?
That's the house that fell upon the craziness, right? Or whatever it was, the darkness upon the house or something.
Yeah, it had like the fungus.
Fungus,
I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Are we assuming it was a fungus, or did we get confirmation? I can't remember. But yeah, that's the implication, because the bowl itself had some fungal stuff on it, right?
You cleaned it up, yeah.
So we found the bowl. It was covered with a fungus, and we cleaned it.
Even more reason I would rather not trade in that. I'd probably, for your own sake, unless you're going to go to the black market to sell that, I wouldn't be showing that
Showing
out.
it off.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we don't want people to. I guess we don't want people to associate us with that house. I didn't even think of that. Thank you for your discretion.
No.
Yes.
We You're not the first person that has come in here with illicit goods, seeing if I'd be willing to make a deal. It's fairly
I didn't realize.
commonplace here in Dreg.
Guess I didn't realize it was so illicit, but
You mentioned illicit goods, so just quick question. I'm interested in acquiring a ruby, quite valuable item. Willing to pay for it? Any recommendations on someone who may have access to such a thing?
Well, we really aren't known for our gems and gemstones here in Dreg, although there was a fellow just literally yesterday that came through here and made mention that the leader, I guess you would call him, the manager, head honcho there at the woodcutters camp up along the river, had apparently acquired or has developed a desire for gems and gemstones, and has acquired something that he has become quite enamored with, almost obsessed with. Seemed kind of an odd tale.
Is it the woodcutters camp?
Yeah, a fellow coming through here, I believe he may still be in town. I believe he said he was staying at the Mermaid's Arms. But he had made mention that, I don't know, this is strange, but he was suggesting that what the lord up there at the woodcutters camp had been doing is acquiring and wanting to purchase gems and gemstones that from a particular place further up north, that he's like grinding them up and smoking them.
That's quite unusual.
brother, obviously I'm going to ask you immediately. Have you ever heard of anything
No, I have not heard of. Why would you ask me that? I know why, but come on. What? Smoking gemstones.
Let's call it gem dust. That sounds like a good, like, drug name.
Excuse me, sir. Have you heard any of that? That's odd, correct?
I have never heard of such a thing before in my life. No. I mean, this individual that came through here was a dealer in pipe tobacco and such, and apparently that is how he came across this instance. He had heard that the ruler of the woodcutters camp, his name is Jolly Alstis Pollard, that this is a habit that he had come to. He'd been looking for pipes specifically that could do this, designed for this craft, to indulge in this this practice. But like I said, I don't know. It sounds kind of.
We also encountered some very vigorous acolytes, it seems, of the one true Lord. They seem very preoccupied with the weakness of men. So the only reason I bring this up is because I'm a woman in this town, and I'm a little concerned about, even though I can take care of myself, what I might encounter. Have you been experiencing any trouble with the acolytes?
Well, I just try to keep my head down and not engage with them as much as I can. I am of the faith, mind you, but their methods, or what I hear, They've become increasingly more violent as time has gone on. My understanding is that they are quite frustrated with Burkmaster Monocles for his inaction. But the fact of the matter is, Chateau Shantywood is situated on an island that is not part of the duchy. Is some kind of strange, from what little I understand about it, is she has full ownership of her isle, some contract made with a king of Brackenwold from ages past, and it still has legal standing. So she is free to do there on the isle what she wants. I don't know what they expect the Burkmaster to do. I guess their greatest complaint about him is that they feel that he is under her sway in some way.
I
And
mean,
is he? Does he often, go over the river?
And you
I
could,
mean, not that you would know. I mean,
him and his wife kind of like glance at each other like they know the juicy gossip, and they kind of look around and they size you up and realize you're not from town and maybe it's kind of low risk to be like gossiping with you. And they say, well, his wife is quite sick. He has been seen boarding the ferry and heading out there fairly routinely. So, indeed, he is a customer, it would seem.
there's speculation at the least.
And this was the Burkmaster that they're talking about?
Yeah, they're talking about the Burkmaster. And they'll tell you that, he's been sort of a pretty absent administrator of the town for some time. And really, everyone knows, even if they don't say it outwardly, that the real power in the town is that of the Madam, and Madam Shantywood really is the one that makes things happen in town.
oh, that is, in
I mean, that's
fact, a relief to hear.
I mean, she's got some kind of good deal going on from the duchy. That's like kind of sort of unheard of. There's got to be some interesting story behind that, if it's true.
Well, it hardly needs to be nefarious. It just, who knows? Maybe the family did a service to the king ages ago. But my bigger concern was how much power the yellow-coated acolytes seem to have in town, and what trouble they might cause to any woman in town because of their extreme beliefs, which seem extreme to me at least.
Oh yeah. Seems like they're more like a street gang than anything else.
If I'm following what Lillibeth is concerned about or saying, I think they'll make mention maybe that all of the sex workers of Madame Shantywood, they all live there at the chateau, so they don't come down into Dreg necessarily, and so they don't really run afoul of the zealots, but the zealots definitely keep an eye on the docks, and they keep an eye on who's coming and going, and so it's usually the those that are going there for those services that are brought to justice in the streets by them.
Hmm. So more likely to cudgel the men than the women, assuming that all of the evil emanates from Madame Shantywood's chateau. That's good information to have, though I'm sorry that this is troubling the town.
And they say it may be best, if you are concerned about them, to stay away from those places that they consider dens of sin, for they keep eyes on all of those places, and they make notes of who comes and goes.
Well, I much appreciate that you've shared all of this information with us. We've never been to the town before, and this will make our way much easier. Can we provide any small compensation for your services in this regard? I feel a great deal of gratitude. And I'm nudging because I want to actually maybe give them a little bit of something more than what we just paid for.
Gave
ahead.
them a lot of money.
Well, we paid for services. We didn't, and I don't want to offend, but I feel like we should at least give them something.
Well, maybe a prayer of such. You are followers after all, right? And you two agree that it is better to be a bit more gentle and kind to those that come and go rather than such force, correct?
Well, it wasn't always this way in Dreg. Much of this is more recent, and so we would be honored to have your blessing, Father. We haven't had genuine religious guidance in this village for quite some time.
Oh yes, sure. He'll go ahead and pray to. I was looking to see if there was a saint for merchants and whatnot. I didn't see one, but he'd call on a saint and.
I would say maybe pick up on, like, in the conversation that he maybe mentions Saint Wick as
Okay.
he says the name Saint Wick a number of times throughout the conversation, so you get the sense that that is the saint that they are sort of more drawn to, or as the local flavor of the religion.
Okay. He would say, Saint Wick, yes, very, very good. Yes, I will pray that Saint Wick shows good favor and continues to show good favor to this well-established, the Armin's armaments, correct? And I'm assuming you're Armin. That Armin and his family have good health for the rest of their days. Also, and this is okay, amen. Also, we're looking for bedrolls, so do you might have a
And bedrolls are
Forthcoming.
2 gold apiece.
And
Okay.
we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
Another 10.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What was the adjustment there?
2 gold for each bedroll.
Oh, I've been taking this all out of my bag. Or have you been
Okay.
also doing the same?
I have not. I thought
Okay.
I thought for some reason we were getting 2 gold.
I am writing
alright.
all of it down. We can figure out which bag it comes from later.
All right. Other things that you wish to purchase here?
Is there any other kind of like camping gear that we could benefit from on the road while we're out there? I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if there's anything else that we could benefit from that will help us get better rest at night while we're traveling, stuff like that, maybe.
Tent could help if it's like
Mhm.
rainy and whatnot. So tent would be 20 gold.
Okay, let's do that.
Definitely do a tent.
Yeah.
1 tent is large enough for 2 adults.
Brr.
So you're
So
gonna
we
That's
need
like
would
three.
3
need
tents.
three tents.
3 tents, so 80 minus 60. Okay.
Maybe I think the friar would maybe ask for maybe just some sort of like skillet or like iron
skillet to be able to have, as far as just to make it a little easier to cook, maybe better meals for everyone at night.
3
They
gold.
have,
They have some supplies like that.
okay.
And maybe we might need to get a spade or a shovel of some kind.
Might
case
come
we
up
need to
again.
All right. Shovel costs you 2 gold.
2 gold. Okay.
Let's see. Do you need any travel rations?
I don't think we have. I've got 4 iron rations. It says maybe some extras each would be good.
I have 2. So yeah.
Yes.
Should we spin a ration on that trip since we didn't forage?
It isn't a complete day yet. You still,
Okay.
probably will buy something at the tavern to eat. That'll be cheaper
Cool.
than rations.
Yeah.
How much are the rations?
If you want iron rations, which are they won't spoil on you, those are 15 gold for 7 days. Standard rations would be 5 for 7 days.
What do you guys think?
So another 35 then.
Yeah, well, there's 6 of us, so
Yeah,
one
I
of
was gonna
And
those.
it would
say,
be
so 1 to 6 times
42, right?
How much was it for the 7 days again?
7 days of iron rations is 15 gold.
So 15 times 6 would be 90.
90.
So do we want to do that? Give everybody 7 more days of iron rations for 90. That'll bring us down to 100. Out of my bag, we would have 100 and 130 gold pieces, 129 gold pieces left.
I think that would be wise. Only the fact that we're front loading it, right? So that we would, if these don't go bad, it's always good that we have rations that just in case. So
Right.
might as well. We're gonna pay for it anyway, so might as well
Yeah,
do it now.
I'll take
And
it
I've-
out. Yeah,
And
then
I've got
put
another 100. So I got
yeah.
another 100 gold in my bag, so it's not.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, so
What-
I'll take that out. We'll be down to 129, and then everybody add 7 days of iron rations to your own
Cool.
character sheet.
I'm at 13.
I'll be at 10.
Yeah, I'm at
we're
10
good.
as well. My question at this point, though, is, I mean, how much weight are we all carrying with a week's worth of groceries in our backpack? Is a lot.
So we're
lot.
using the basic encumbrance stuff. So like, I'm not gonna get too concerned about the gear and everything. I just expect at least you have containers that you're holding the stuff in. But it'll be more gold is going to be our encumbrance factor that we pay attention to.
Okay.
And we just, at least for my character, we just dropped most of it. So
Mhm.
we had 300 and change, and now we're down to 229 or 129.
So other shopping things you would like to do here?
I would look for. I'd be in the market for some maybe gloves, protective gloves and whatnot, as he's foraging, as he's now found that there might be a bit poisonous things out there.
Yeah. We'll just say a gold.
Okay.
Okay.
As far as your offer to repay them, Oren says he asks if you'll be staying at the Mermaid's Arms. And he'll
Yeah.
say, you could repay me by buying me a drink here tonight. I'll make my way. I've got about an hour left. I'll be keeping my shop open, but I wouldn't mind a nightcap.
Nice.
Be happy to do that.
Speaking of which
Okay,
way is it to
good.
the Mermaid's Arms?
And the Mermaid's Arms is basically on your map here. It's would this work? Yeah, over
Yeah.
here. It's like the one inn that would welcome people coming in off the road versus the sailors and whatnot. So it sits just across from a marble fountain that is in the likeness of a mermaid, and she's got the water kind of pouring out from her mouth into the basin of the well. You can see maybe as the sun is setting, and maybe it's the proprietor or whatnot of the Mermaid's Arms is outside, sort of lighting the exterior lanterns. A little bit of the light from that flame catches on the waters of the well, or of the fountain, and you can see kind of sparkling of copper coins and such that have been tossed in, likely as some kind of a thing that the kids do to make a wish or whatever at the fountain. But you make your way over to this establishment. There's a sign that hangs off of the overhang that has depicted on it a mermaid on the seashore, beautifully, bashfully hiding her beautiful face as she is braiding her blonde hair. It's fairly quiet in this establishment. As you enter, you can see round woolen rugs around the tap room. There's a scent of polish and a cheery fireplace that makes it. This is a very welcoming place. This isn't a rough and tumble type of place. You even see a sign that is on the wall that says "No gambling, lewdness, or sea shanties."
I'm out. I won't specify the reason.
Yeah, we'll see how much it is for a room for the evening.
And this is a tavern of common quality. And so that will be... you're looking for lodging plus food?
I believe so, yes.
So you can get... for each of you... Lodging for a night in the common room would be 5 copper. If you would like a private room with 1 bed, 8 silver pieces, or there are shared rooms with 2 beds for 1 night, 4 silver pieces.
I'm happy with common.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just, we've been sleeping on couches in front of a fireplace, so
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
it's a
you're...
That's
true
for-
bed. I'll be happy.
That's 5 copper each.
That would be 5 copper each, so 30 copper for that, which would equate to 3 silver pieces. If you want food, that'll be 3 silver pieces each. So 3 times 6, looking at, what, 18, so 21 silver pieces. I don't know. I don't think you have any silver coinage with you, because
No.
specifically there are no silver pieces in the gambling stuff. So if you give them a gold, they'll give you back. Let's see. You have to give them like what, 3 gold?
3 gold,
They'll-
get back 9
they'll-
silver.
Yeah, they'll round down and just say, we just give them the 3 gold, and that will cover you for the evening.
Okay.
So we give them the 3 gold and call it.
That seems fair.
Cool.
That
So we've
includes
got
some
food
drinks.
and lodgings.
Drinks would be extra. And so if you're looking to have some beverages, why don't you roll me... Are you looking for a beer, a spirit, a wine?
Spirit of some kind.
Okay. Why don't you roll me a D12? I'll let you know what they have here.
That is a 6.
They have a colorless spirit in a kind of opaque almost kind of a dark blue bottle that they tell you is Old Swinthner. It's a colorless spirit. They pour it out into a little kind of snifter. Tastes of charred beech and honey. And that will run you 5 copper pieces. But
I have one of those.
as I'm looking at the time here, I have something that I'm going to need to go to. Got to do some family time here this afternoon. So we won't quite get to closing out the night. I think there might still be like conversation such that happens, and then maybe even this Oren from the store is going to stop by and have a drink with you. I'll just mention kind of plainly a few things that are happening. You'll be welcomed in here, and you'll also see that when Oren comes in, he's going to recognize the pipe tobacco merchant in here, and they'll stop and have some pleasantries. And so this is the person that had mentioned that rumor about the fellow at the woodcutters encampment. And so that might be something you're interested in talking more about. So that'll kind of all happen next time we pick this up, which I believe, just to confirm, is going to be in 2 weeks, if that still works for everybody, on the 12th of November.
Yes.
It does. It does.
Awesome. So I think that's going to wrap us up for everything here. Just because I'm going over time, I'm probably going to cut it short a bit on doing our kind of wrap up ritual here of telling everybody what we enjoyed. So we could do some of that maybe just in the chat in the 20 Sides Discord. But thanks everybody for hanging out with us here today. We had quite a bit of people coming over from Lord Gasumba, so we really appreciate seeing all of you come on over. So I think we're going to pass things forward here as we wrap up, and let's go. It's Saturday, so I don't really have anybody that is streaming so much. So, and of course my algorithm for Twitch is all messed up with music streams, so that's not going to work for recommended. Let's go and who else? We got somebody that is streaming some kids on bikes, so that's cool. We'll go and raid them and see what they're up to. Thanks everybody. We'll see you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.